Hey folks, this is Vint with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Nexus 5X. It should be Stellaris Nexus. I don't know why it's titled Nexus 5X, especially since there's an actual phone, I believe, that it's called Nexus 5X. So if you try and Google Nexus 5X, you're going to find all sorts of information on phones. So, I mean, it's just a weird title choice. Maybe Paradox Interactive is trying to distance itself from, maybe City Skylines 2. I don't know. Anyway, so Nexus 5X. I've been playing this for the last couple of hours, so this is going to be more of a first impressions video, and I thought I'd show you this manually because this is, for all intents and purposes, this is like a digital board game. One that I'm really enjoying. Take, say, a 4X game, like, say, Stellaris, Galactic Civilizations, Civilization series. Add Express to that 4X part. So you've got Explore, Expand, Exploit, Exterminate. That's the 4X. And then Express. That's why the game is 5X. This game can be played in 1-2 hours tops. And it's amazing. I didn't think it was possible, but it is. So let's just take you through it real quick. And this is a quick look at the options menu. One thing I don't like here is that there's no way to scale the UI to make it larger. I personally, have trouble seeing. So a larger UI size would have been great. Now, I should mention this game is early access. So what you're seeing here could be subject to change. So there's also a profile that you can click on, and yes, you can actually play with others online, and you'll see your win rate. I'm currently playing my first game, and I'll show you that in a minute. And I'm pretty sure I've got a handle on everything. There's an extra section here for encyclopedia, codex, tutorial, stuff like that. You can create a custom online game from here, although if you take a look at the available custom games, there's not a whole lot here. That worries me a little bit. That being said, if you play with a bunch of friends or even solo, it's still a lot of fun. I have to warn you though, even on solo, the computer is giving me a run for my money, even on the easiest difficulty setting. So I feel like if you're coming into this game for the first time and you want to practice against bots, you may find them to be a little aggressive and, maybe difficult to beat even on the easiest setting. There's a tutorial, a story, and the main mode, which is Succession. I'll go ahead and click on that. And you can set this game up a couple of different ways. For example, player count. You can change that between 4 and 8. So there is no 1v1. Minimum is 4, maximum 8, and there's a reason for that. In Succession mode, and that's what this next part is, you are trying to be the first civilization to reach a certain victory point goal, and that's called Succession. Anytime you see the little up pink arrows called Succession, those are victory points, and you're trying to meet that goal before anybody else. Now, you can adjust this 150, 160. So there are ways to lengthen or shorten a game. What attracts me to this game are the different civilizations that you can be. It looks like there's a total of 10 of them, and there are variants for each that are locked. I don't know how to unlock them yet. Again, this is first impressions. I'm going to assume that as I continue playing, they will unlock over time, or I'll have the ability to unlock them. There's a little unlock down here that's grayed out. So I'm not sure what the deal is. Again, some sort of tooltip there would have been very helpful. Just saying. So anyway, there's 10 civilizations, and they really do act differently. There's a deck mechanic in this game. They're called edicts. The cards in your deck are called edicts. And each faction has their own deck of edicts. And you're going to draw so many every turn. And then you can spend action points, which they're really called support. But it's action points to play these cards and do different things. And again, each faction is different. You'll see that this leader edict for this civilization here, your empire gains 2 research and 2 resource production. That's like materials, but -1 support. That's, again, kind of like action points. Although there are civilizations that don't care about action points. This hive mind, for example, has a special resource, this little pink one, pheromones. They use that, it seems, more than the support, based on what I've seen so far. So different factions will have a different deck of cards. They're called edicts, and they also have special ultimate abilities. These leaders also level up over time as you play, and you can pick between different special abilities. So I like the fact that each faction is uniquely different and has a different deck of cards and just behaves differently all around. So I really like that. And to show you the difficulties here, there's Rookie, Adept, Tactician, Elite, and Legend. Again, playing on Rookie, I'm finding it to be difficult. I really am. So that, I think the developers need to rebalance that to make that easier for first-time players. Now, I'm going to cancel out of here so we can actually load up my save file. I guess this one, yeah, load game. Okay, so I chose for my first game this warrior race called the Krexax, however you pronounce that. Typically, I like blowing stuff up. That's their main thing. If you look on the left-hand side, you can see what I'm good at, what I'm not. Again, the text is kind of small, for me anyway. Their strength lies in extra military power, that little red sword that you see. You can conquer planets in this game and defend against being conquered. So whenever you're conquering a planet, if you have a higher red sword military value, you lose less troops in your attack. So that's what army strength is, but I'll get to those in a minute. And then my weakness is I can never retreat from combat, so if I go into a situation that's bad for me, I can't back out of it. He has a special resource called Bloodlust, and I can gain Bloodlust with a card I have. And I gain 2 Bloodlust whenever I occupy a planet at the end of a turn, or gain 3 Bloodlust for every battle you win. And Bloodlust, your fleet gains 1% more power, and I guess accuracy, or I'm not sure what that is, for every Bloodlust you have. So the more Bloodlust I accumulate, the stronger my forces become. And I can gain that a number of different ways. So that's typically what this faction's all about. And I'm going to zoom out. Yes, okay. So this is the galaxy map. I'm playing with 4 total people. On the left-hand side is the faction list. Again, it's really small, but you can actually see how many victory points we currently have. The UNE, the United Nations of Earth, have the most victory points right now at 37. And they have a little +5 there where my mouse cursor is hovering. That indicates how many they're earning this turn so far, but they don't actually earn it until the next, like, galactic meeting. There's a council on the upper left that says years to council 7. It's just the number of turns until the next council. And the council meetings will determine the victory point conditions for the upcoming council. So, like, you're trying to, like, have the most of this or have the least of this, and if you do that, you score victory points for that council session. So the different ways you can score victory points in this game will change based on the council and what is voted on. You can vote on these things with council votes. So I've got 24 right now with a +8 coming in, although this Glebzig Foundation has 19 points, but is getting +31 from somewhere. I don't know how. They are a very tradey. They love to trade, and I'm guessing that's where they're getting it from. But again, I don't know the game enough to know how they're getting that many points right then and there. So yeah, it's every faction is going to try and do something different. So anyway, on the bottom left-hand corner is where most of this stuff is taking place. These 3 cards here are my edicts. Every turn I get dealt cards from my deck, and these are the edicts I can play. Now, the first action that I take on my turn costs 1 blue support. On the very bottom left-hand corner, again, super small, is my support. I'm currently getting +9 per turn, and I've got 7 banked right now. Action number 1 costs 1 support. Action number 2 costs 2 support. Action number 3 costs 3 support. That may change based on different empires. I couldn't tell you which empires do what, but that's typically what that is. Each planet in your empire that you've conquered reduces your support income by 1. So the larger your territory, the less income you get from support, so you kind of have to build structures that give you more support to make up for that. If you don't have enough support, you lose planets in your empire automatically, which is bad. You don't want that to happen. And yeah, so the next resource over is materials. You can spend these to construct things on your planets, and stuff like that. There's credits. Credits are a wild resource that can be spent as either support in blue or the materials in yellow. So credits are like a wild resource that act as either or, and you can get those primarily by trading. There's a couple of cards in my deck that allow me to trade with other people, just like automatically, and we both get bonuses for that. Next over is my special resource called Bloodlust, and again, I already explained that part of it. Munitions. This is like your cap on your military vessels. How many military vessels you have in the environment, and how many you can build until you're at your max. But there are structures that you can build to increase the cap on that. The next resource over is science. And yeah, you get science every turn, but there's also a cap on science as well. So you'll have to build structures that increase your cap, and science is used to research new technologies. And each technology that you research has like a cost on it and will go toward that cap. So you can only research so many things until you reach your cap, and then you have to build more structures to increase your cap. There is a trade value every time you trade with another empire. That's typically how many credits you get. There's culture in this game. That is one way to earn victory points. You can spread culture to other planets, kind of like in Civilization. And in order to spread that, there's a card. But typically, you're going to get bonus points for that, like victory points for doing that, so spreading culture is important. Council votes just allows you to vote during the council sessions, and then I already explained the whole military power thing, where you can invade planets, and the more you've got, the less ships you lose in the process. So now that you've got a handle on that, I'm going to zoom in on my empire up here. And you'll notice, like, I started here, on Azak, okay? And I can click on planets to construct various things. I can construct more fleet types. You're not building individual ships in this game so much as you're building a fleet type, and then you can reinforce it after the fact with more ships if you want to, just by hitting like the reinforce button. If you drag a ship down to a planet, it'll reinforce it. So yeah, there's that. And you can also build a galactic monument there to get extra victory points, which I may do because I'm falling behind. There's a star base, and you can build these star bases on the planets that you control, and that just allows you to build more fleets. So there's that. And again, you're limited to how many munitions you have. Zooming out, you'll see that there's different icons on these. Let's come up here to this one. The upper left next to the name is the type of planet it is, and that will determine what buildings you can construct on that planet. So that blue people icon there, that is primarily, you can construct buildings related to increasing your support income. Okay, and then each planet has a number of build slots. I have one empty gray build slot there next to those 2 pink question marks. Those question marks are anomalies that you can research with a special card. In fact, this Explore. I can spend 2 action points or 2 support points to explore one of those anomalies, and I'll get something special for it. So maybe I'll do that.
You cannot explore hazardous systems unless you have a fleet
present. I guess I need to have a fleet present. I didn't realize it was hazardous. So I guess this pink hue around these planets are hazardous. Let's see if I can find a different one that has a pink question mark. And oh, there's one right there. So we'll explore that one.
Science vessel orders confirmed.
Okay. So there's also other icons. There's a little yellow hammer right here, and that yellow hammer is like for resources primarily, like the yellow resource income. Manufacturing, I think it's the same thing. It says production there. Let's click on it. I need a construction card before I can do that. Okay. Well, I don't remember what... I think the hammer and the industry are both for resources, but don't quote me on it. I'm still learning. The green one is more like a wild one that can pretty much do anything. It's a really special one. You want to keep an eye out for those ones. So different planets have different icons and you can build different things on those planets. There's different cards. Like I said, you can play them to perform different actions. I've already used 2 actions, one to build that that monument and the other one to explore. I've got command. I can assign a role to a fleet. So for example, command this one. I've already got this active command here, which says, gain 20% power when attacking a system alone, but I can change that. I can increase the reinforce rate if I need more ships attached to it. I can give it like a tank ability. It will take damage before any other fleet that it's with. I gain 20% when defending a system. I prevent one ship from dying normally when it would normally be destroyed if I survive a battle. So yeah, you can assign different rules to these fleets, which is cool. I think I might reinforce this one here if I have enough. Yeah, I just don't have enough munitions. I need to build before I can do that. There is a politics card that most people get, and you can pretty much spend like extra support in order to pick any card in your deck that you want and just play it. So if I want more bloodlust, I can just get this rally card and do that. But I think I want to construct so I can get more munitions. So I'm going to click on this construction down here.
Direction confirmed.
And I'm going to find a planet which is appropriate. Maybe let's see what this one does. Click on the card, click on that. Okay. So this one is a military nano plant. I can build this on a green icon planet or the gray manufacturing planet. So I think I'm going to just take this one here that gives me an extra 10 munitions, which allows me to make my fleet larger. Now my next action, you'll note on the bottom right here, it says green 10. So whenever you run out of blue support, which is your action points for this particular faction, you'll start dipping into your wild resource, which are your credits. And the conversion is 1 credit per 1 material that you want to build with, or 2 credits for 1 blue support that you want to use for various actions. One other thing I should probably mention is that there is a planet called the Nexus, which is why the game is called Nexus 5X. So there is a planet that everyone is going to be fighting over. If you manage to control this planet, you actually get extra victory points per turn, which is great. And typically battles happen when you hit the end turn button. I've currently put 2 fleets here in orbit of this planet and will be doing battle with this thing. Now, unfortunately, there is a rock, paper, scissors effect going on here with the 3 different fleet types. So these battleships are actually, these capital ships are stronger against raiders, which is what I'm currently using in order to get this planet. But I've got so many ships that I'm probably going to win this battle anyway. Alright, so you don't actually get to control any of this, it just happens automatically. It's pretty much a little cutscene. Alright, so it looks like we did okay. And I'm going to go ahead and now, it looks like I gained 3 victory points for constructing a monument, which is great. And now I can, thank you, I can send troops down to the surface. Now, each planet has a military strength as well. In this case, it says 6 red. I've got 38, so I clearly have more than he does, and I'll lose less of these ships. I have a fleet power of 120 for this particular fleet. I'm going to lose some of that in order to conquer the planet, but it lessens based off of how high your military strength actually is. Okay, so here is an example of the League Council. We'll see what kind of points I get. Okay, so at the moment, I got 12 for controlling the Nexus, and score up to 5 points based on the number of rival empires with less culture spread to foreign worlds. So I don't have a whole lot of culture spread to foreign worlds, so I didn't get any points for that one. I need to focus on that. Have a presence and the highest number of star systems, 1 or 2 jumps from the Nexus. I've got the most presence, so I get 8 points for that. And you'll note that these will repeat. It says completed by on the very bottom. So if you've already completed one of these and gotten points for it, then you cannot get points for it again. I completed this commander one, for example, before, and now this faction has the ability to score it because I've already scored it once in the past. Control the planet with the highest research. I'm up next, assuming it comes up next. So I'm going to hit confirm. And now we're going to vote. I'll vote on one of these on the top and one of these on the bottom. This is like the next victory point goal that we're going to be shooting for. I'm going to vote for this one hands down because I've got the most and highest military value. And then I'm going to choose something that won't affect me down here. Moving fleets costs an additional point or support point. Let's do that one. And I'll distribute toward the top because I really want that one to go through. So I'm gonna hit submit. You can distribute your votes between your top pick or your bottom pick, and I'd rather this top one go through. And it did. So that mighty one is up in the running. So in like 7, 8, 10 turns, whatever it is, I'm currently in first place for that particular one. Hit confirm. And we're starting over again.
I suggest we spread our faction's culture to a rival world.
Thank you. So that's the general gameplay flow. And I gotta say, I'm really enjoying this game so far. I'm really enjoying it. Again, there are some issues with it, like with the in terms of UI, stuff going off the screen, or the UI being too small and I can't increase it. And also only being able to play against 4 factions. It would be cool to maybe do like a 1v1 kind of thing, but I can understand why they don't want to. It's just sort of being locked into a 4 to 8 player battle. It might be overwhelming for the first time player, but there is a campaign that you can play if you don't want to play this main mode. So yeah, I do recommend this game, especially since it is fairly cheap on the market. And this is again, if you like digital board games and you like, say, Civilization and Galactic Civilization and Stellaris, but you wanted a faster experience, this game will give it to you. So if you like digital board games and you want, a faster 4X game, definitely check this one out. Well, this is Vince. Thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all next time. Take care.